Hey there, Andy here. I am joined today with a couple of guys from Selectec in the UK. I've got Stephen Hart and Ben McKean here. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Very well, thank you very much, Andy. Good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Good to hear you, Ben. Good to hear from both of you. Ben, I met you at an Elatec RFID meeting. I believe it was Oktoberfest a couple of years ago.
Was indeed one of my favorite events. That one. They
was a great event.
Very well.
Still recovering. That was a little too much fun, but it was great to meet you there. It was great to meet you there, and I learned a little bit about what you guys do and who you are. You're a PaperCut distributor. Stephen, why don't you tell us a little bit about Selectec and what you guys do out there and who your customers are?
Yeah, absolutely. So Selectec, we've been in business for about 30 years. Originally started off selling book copiers, hardware book copiers. Moved into software development and distribution around about 12 years ago. And then we came across PaperCut, which is our primary product. It's actually a fantastic solution. We spend most of our days talking about, promoting, evangelizing about the product. We sell the product across the UK and across the Nordic region. We also have quite a few associated solutions, Square 9, Folder, obviously card readers, Elatec RFIDs. And yeah, that's pretty much us. We mainly get involved in channel only. So we work with resellers, OEMs, most of the big guys we work with. And yeah, we love it. Great job. We also, interesting for us, we all work remotely as well, which is
so I did want to ask you about
different.
that. We chatted about that before, and Ben, why don't you tell us about that? You guys were fortunate enough to have gone remote several years ago, from what you were saying earlier.
Yeah. So as Steve was saying earlier on, well, the business took a decision to actually have remote workforce around about 10 years ago. I joined the business about 6. And yeah, as we said previously, it's not old hat for us, but it is a normal way of life, this remote working. And I promise you, I'm not sat in the other room. Steve's not just there. He is actually about 20 minutes away. So we have people dotted all over the UK. So we've got guys up in Manchester, which is in the north of England. We've got guys down in the southern tip. We've got guys over in the east side as well. So we've got a span across the country. But to be honest with you, 6 years in, I don't think I could go back to a normal office job right about now, because the remote working state for us is, I find it more productive. I agree, it's a bit tough at the moment because obviously, as you said previously, Andy, we're quite social creatures. So we're used to going to meeting at these shows and being interactive with people and things like that. And while we have the fantastic facilities of things like Zoom and Skype and everything like that, actually missing those social interactions is the one difficulty, I would say, about this. But we always make an effort to make sure that we meet as teams at least once a quarter. And we have a global, well, we call it an annual global get-together once a year, because we obviously have staff over in Australia, and we want to make sure that everybody sort of comes together once a year to have a good meeting and maybe a couple of beers.
Well, I didn't realize you guys were in Australia. I just did an interview with several Sharp dealers down there yesterday. So I was thinking that you were just in Europe. It's nice to learn where you guys are. So tell me a little bit. I know what's going on here in my community. We're all in lockdown here in Western New York. We're right down the thruway, the main artery to New York City, which obviously is the hot spot of the world right now, unfortunately. How are things in where you guys are in the Bristol area? Why don't you tell us which one of you guys would like to take that?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you where I am. It's relatively quiet. Just to give you an idea, we're literally on the seaside, so we have about 22,000 people live where I live. So it's actually quite nice. We can go out. There's lots of space available. But we're seeing a lot of differences. Most of the major shops are closed. The supermarkets are keeping a 6 foot 2 meter distance from each other. Yeah. So that's obviously quite difficult. We've gone through the phase, we're running out of essential products, and everything's been restocked, which is great. But everybody's being sensible as far as I can see.
Yeah,
just closed businesses. you know, what's closed, what's open? Ben, why don't you tell us the kinds of things that you're seeing there? And
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I live a little bit closer to the centre, so about 4 miles outside, and there's about, I think, 500,000-600,000 in Bristol city centre, or the surrounding areas, as it were. Every retail shop is closed. It's only the supermarkets really that are open, and as Steve was saying, there is social distancing put in place and is enforced. So you see, I drove down to pick up our essential shopping. So me and my wife actually do click and collect, which is a lot easier. It means we don't actually have to physically go into the shop. We just literally order what we want, go pick it up, and then we can get back. But there are people in the shops, and they are maintaining that sort of 2 meter distance, which is great. And the social distancing seems to be playing its part in the crisis that we're in at the moment. Apart from that, it is fairly quiet. There are a lot of people taking the ability to go out and have their daily walk or their daily exercise or things like that. But again, even when people are out and about and walking, you can see people crossing roads and making sure that there's a distance between them. If you've got a small child, like I've got a 6-year-old, so they always make sure that they move away to keep that distance in place, which is great. But all the parks are closed, all the schools are closed, all the shops are closed. It is literally like essential shopping only, which is what allowed it at the moment anyway.
So it sounds very similar to where I am. I think my community is somewhat similar in size to Bristol, so, or from where you guys are located. Yeah, it's a new time, it's a new era. So going back to your comments earlier about the remote working, and tell me about the technology that you guys sell, and how has that played a part into what you've experienced in your own remote working. And then going forward, why don't you, Stephen, talk about the experience and using your technology in the remote workforce, and maybe Ben, you could talk to us about going forward. What kind of opportunity is this for your customers, your resellers, as the world heals and companies realize we do need to have the ability to go remote in a heartbeat if needed. So Stephen, why don't you start first?
So yeah, we tend to use products like Zoom, Skype, Slack is a huge part of our business as well. So we can communicate with people, share our screen, allow people to write comments on the screen. It's excellent. Some of the solutions that we sell around electronic document management are becoming more interesting to our partners, which obviously are complementary with PaperCut. So Folder is a good example where we can link a lot of the cloud hosted solutions together, enable OCRing, and we're getting quite a lot of interest from that side of things. Also, like I say, the document management stuff is very much of interest. With PaperCut's cloud feature coming up soon, so we're starting to talk to our partners about that, which is going to be really important moving forward. Yeah, it's interesting times.
Excellent. How about you, Ben? Why don't you tell us, what kind of programs are you working with the dealers? How are you helping them get through this COVID? And what kind of different recommendations about the remote workforce and supporting them are you giving your customers?
Yeah, sure. I mean, following on from what Steve says, I mean, the document management and the folder side of things are really important, because obviously folders, it's not just universal access. I mean, there's search in place, there's the ability to combine all of your sort of repositories, documents and things like that into one platform, so you can see them all in one screen and share and create search criteria and everything like that. You can point it at repositories, let it go and OCR all the documents and bring them back into this beautiful sort of web-based architecture. For us, we use it on a daily basis. So we use it for things like, well, me personally, I use it for things like my expenses, for sharing large files and large documents. So whenever we do an event or anything like that, we don't print anything out. What we do is we bung it all into a folder, create a nice QR code, put that on a piece of paper or put it on a t-shirt, and then people just scan that with their mobile phones, and then they've got access to that information. So folder for us is a key part of the business, and we're starting to being able to sort of bring around the typical print reseller to start thinking about things like that. So it's not just about the print management, there's the whole document life cycle that we need to consider. So it's not just about getting the documents into the workflow, being able to manage them while they're there, and then being able to get them out of the process as well. And that's where things like Square 9 comes into play, which is our ECM document management system that we work with. Now, fairly new partnership. We're all pretty much up to speed with it at the moment. We're very lucky to have Damien, who is our document management specialist. He's been a real asset to the team and really knows his mustard. So we've been working very closely with that, and again, working with Square 9, using it internally as well, being able to search throughout the web portal, being able to capture documents, being able to bundle all that nicely together is what we're trying to do is, well, Selectec has always said, try and take the difficult, make it simple, which is what we're trying to do with our channel at the moment. These products are very in depth. They are very technological, and they do take a time to master. So what we're trying to do is actually bring that all together into a nice, neat little package that we can then go and present to our resellers and our channel and say, look, guys, well done on the print management side of things, but don't forget there's this whole document lifecycle that we need to consider now. So let's talk about how we can help you with maybe not having to print that document or manage that document, manage that print side of things, and actually bring it into a digital workspace, bring it into a digital document workflow. So that's how we're trying to put everything together. And I mean, I could sit here and rabble on to you about Folder and Square 9 all day, but the fact that we use it internally and we took that decision as a business to do it means that we have trust and we have faith and we have a real importance in these products that we're putting forward.
So you're eating your own dog food, as we like to say over here.
That's it, exactly that, eating your own dog food.
Yeah. So I've told this story on a couple of occasions in these interviews, but it's perfect for you. My wife is an educator. She's a school psychologist, and
right.
Yeah, and so what? She's working from home now, and we're about 30 miles away from the school, and she can't get her files because no one ever envisioned needing access remotely. So how does she go get her files? The school's locked. She physically drives 30 miles to the school, sits in the parking lot outside, gets on the Wi-Fi, gets her files, drives 30 miles home. She's had to do that twice now so far in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I think there's some opportunities is the point, right? I mean, there's a lot of companies that are now realizing, we're not set up for this if this happens again, or if something different happens that sends us remote. You just don't know. And, everyone needs a contingency plan. And now's the time that I think companies, it's in the back of everyone's head at this point. We all need one. We didn't maybe realize we needed one, but, everybody needs the ability to be able to effectively manage themselves, get to their files, get to their products and customers and be able to support them. And, so products like you're talking about, the document management, the print management, the security, all that plays into the remote worker. And we're seeing, a lot of people leaning on that more than they ever knew that they would need to.
Yeah, well, like you say, the security is a big part of it as well. And just to harken back to the Folder product, you can use it single sign-on. You can use it as its own security access management protocol. So the security side of things is there. But I'll say, give us a call afterwards, and we'll make sure we do you a good deal on Folder, because it sounds like they need it.
Next time you're in the neighborhood, let me know. It was great.
Jump on a plane. Oh no, wait, no.
Yeah, it was great catching up with you guys. Great to see you again, Ben. We'll give you guys one last thing to tell the viewers. Stephen, why don't you start first? One last thing you'd like to share with everybody or tell everyone?
Yeah, really just to stay safe. It is a serious issue with the COVID-19. Hopefully we can get through it and business back to normal. But we are going to see a difference, I think, moving forward in terms of way people work. So yeah, we're just staying in there. We're training as many partners as possible, offering as much support as we can provide, and we're here. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And Ben, how about you?
Yeah, well, to follow on from that, absolutely. And like Steve says, it is a serious time at the moment, but we are trying to make the best use of our time as possible. So we're creating webinars, we're doing series, we're doing as much training as we possibly can. When it comes to things like folder, document management, and anything to get access to those files, then we're here to help, guys. And like I say, we've got some fantastic partners in and around the world as well. So we're part of a global alliance as well, which we can assist with. So please do get in touch with us. And even if it's just to ask us how we've coped with remote working for 6 years, we could do that as well. But no, Andy, thank you so much for the time. It was really good to catch up with you.
Thank you, Andy.
It's great seeing you again. It was great to meet you, Stephen, and Ben. It was obviously great to see you again. Hopefully hopefully we'll be reminiscing in a few months down on Elatec's dime at the Oktoberfest.
Absolutely.
Hopefully everything will be behind us by then, and we can all just get together, have some beers, and just talk about, what a crazy time this was. So we'll catch up with you guys before then, though, okay? Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend, and stay safe.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.